Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Charles. Good morning, everyone. Are you in Manila?
Yes, yes. I like Manila, so I stay here longer.
Where's Johnson still
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
flying?
John isn't. He wasn't feeling like himself today, so he asked me to come in to take over.
Oh, but he's already in Manila.
Yeah, already in Manila. So
Okay.
yesterday, yeah, he arrived late. Yeah, the flight was I think late.
Okay. Maybe too much dampa. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I think we have a very special guest today. She's no longer new to everyone. Oh, by the way, thank you. It's a very nice, quite drizzly morning. Did you see the eclipse last night?
The blood moon, right? They call it
Oh yeah, the red moon.
the red moon is the beginning of a new season in the Chinese metaphysics. What they say, yeah,
Oh, okay. So, it's a good week. It was a good week last week. Drizzling. It's been raining the whole week. But it's part of the season. In the Philippines, we only have two seasons. I don't know in Malaysia if you have four.
no, only two. It's
Only two
just
here.
like Manila, so it feel like my home.
Yeah. So it's here. It's just hot and wet. The no, we're in the wet season.
Let's
So
see.
we have our special guest, and I think this is the third time that she has graced our sessions.
Oh,
One
okay.
during the KW, no, one during the one of the power hours, and then of
Mhm.
course one during the special KW summit
Yes, is that the
in
one that happened 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Is she coming in live today?
No, we are actually it's a recorded session, so we do it's almost the same thing, right? So we're going to look at how she runs her business, and we have our ahas. We discuss over that.
Yeah. You see, this is something. Okay, for some maybe you have watched this already, but you see the principle. My belief is that if you study something or if you watched or listened to something, if you attended something and you are not applying it, then you don't know it. You can say you know it if you are not applying it. Okay.
Yeah,
If you listen to something, you watch something, and you see it's going to work, you see it's working, you see it's a good idea, it's beneficial. But then after the session, you just turn it off, and then you say, "Oh, that was a nice topic," and then you forget about it. Then
no,
you don't
no,
know
no
it.
action being taken, right?
No
Just
action.
just good to watch. It's always like good to watch. Then you have your aha. Then you go back to your do your own thing. You don't change the way that you work. Then you repeat the same thing, right? You get the same result. Then you're questioning yourself.
Oh, it's not
And
working.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like okay, right now, especially those who are agents now or MOA. It's just like you got a franchise from McDonald's, which is super successful. You got the franchise, you got the manual, you get the training, you got the network, you get the logos and everything, and then you still fry your own fried chicken and burger.
fight the Manila way or the Philippine
Yeah,
way.
your own way. So it will not work. It will not
Yeah,
work.
go for- right.
Yeah, so now we are going to watch again. She shared this already with us. And from the time she has shared this with us last year, her business
Lot, ano yan?
even her business even grew,
Mm.
right? So that means it worked, it's working, and that's proven already.
Okay.
So again,
Before when we start the video, maybe I just wanted to ask who attended the our KW Asia Summit, the MRA Summit 2 weeks ago. Maybe you can just press the raise your hand. or you say in the chat, right? So Patrick, so did you watch this session? And may I also ask you this year how many transactions that Ying Peng transacted? Do you still remember?
Uh, in my lifetime or just
No, no,
recently?
no. So you watched Ying Peng, right? On
Yes.
Okay. So how many transactions can you remember that she's transacted in a year?
Oh,
Yeah. So
didn't
you see,
I didn't catch that part maybe during
okay.
that yeah.
Never mind. Thank you. All right. Okay. So you see that so many of you may attended, but you're not listening. So today, maybe you want to take this opportunity, right, um really to put your concentration on this session and take a pen, take a paper or some paper, jot down some notes, and make a change. Right, this year, the rest of the season for 2025, I think you need to change, right, to have a different result, or else you'll be repeating the same thing. Okay, shall we? Are we good, Andy?
Yeah, good. Excited to. Oh, by the way, another very important thing to consider before they start watching this, that what you will see is how, not just to sell, not just to sell the house that you have in your listing now, but how to do real estate really as a business, which means you have to look at it on a bigger scale, you have to look at it on a longer term scale, and you have to look at it using leverage. Okay, so now for the past several months we've talked about listings, leads, listings.
Leads,
Now
leverage.
leverage. So it's time to
Okay,
work on the leverage.
Hannah, you may play it.
Or whatever time you are in. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us for our audience in Philippines.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So just first of all, for the sake of those people who don't know you in the audience, could you just quickly just introduce a little bit about yourself, like what you're doing in real estate, and what's the story of your real estate?
Okay, so I've been in real estate for, I think this is coming my 10th year. Um, and I've always been doing residential. I'm very comfortable doing it and enjoy it. I do the secondary market. I think in Malaysia it's known as secondary market. So we do you get owners listing. I don't do developer units. And I enjoy this journey very much because doing this, what we call sub sales, allows me to build lifelong relationships with a lot of clients and journey with them from the time whether they become tenants to buying, selling. So I've really enjoyed this journey in the last 10 years. Um, I'm 43 this year. I have a daughter that's 12. I'm a single mom, but I have a good co-parenting relationship with her father.
Right.
And I do have a very good support system at home that allows me to focus a lot of time at work, especially, in the service industry. Our timing can be very erratic. So I'm very blessed that I have a very good support system that allows me to focus on my work and at the same time ensure that my daughter's needs are met.
Right. So trying to live that balanced life of a single mom and running a successful business. Now, talk to us about your journey very quickly before we go into. I know you've got a presentation for us.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about your journey, like you were a single agent and then you move forward to building a more team form of business and all that. So let's just walk us through that a little bit in terms of your journey.
So when I first joined real estate, I was sort of like already. So my mom used to be a real estate agent. She was the traditional solo agent. You do everything. And I told her, I mean, I saw the success that she had experienced. I was in corporate for many years. I was doing marketing, in corporate, and I saw like the kind of money that she was making, and I
Right.
thought actually this makes more sense. And she also enjoyed her job very much. So I was always very curious. And one day I told her, yeah, I think this is something that I would like to try. And she hooked me up with somebody who was sort of already experimenting with a team model of sorts. So there was sort of so the moment this team model means that the new agents that enter into this group, you are already given leads, you are given listings, and you are trained to serve the client. So
Right.
that was sort of the model that I was already in when I joined for the first 3 months. When I joined for the first 3 months, it was mainly rental. Everybody starts on rental. You learn the ropes. And it was a very good way to start, I have to say. I think doing rentals, people think that's not important, but really get to understand the house, the defects, what people like, what people don't like about the house. So it was very good. After 3 months, I was sort of asked to, hey, would you like to oversee this listing and marketing part of the team? So I thought, oh, that's quite interesting for me because I'm very used to the corporate job, the Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, I don't want to be out viewing, especially at that time. I think my daughter was just a 2 years old, you know.
Right.
So I took that on and grew in that role to the point where I had a team, a listing team. There were about 5 or 6 of them, and then serving about 40 agents. Then COVID came and there were a lot of changes. So I decided maybe it was time actually to, I think you remember the conversation, John. I think
Yes.
yeah, I was very grateful. You journeyed with me and
Right.
helped me to transition. And
Right.
I said that, okay, maybe I would like to come out on my own for and see what happens, because coincidentally my mom had passed as well, and it just seemed that maybe taking over her portfolio would also be a segue for me into exploring doing my own so-called solo agent.
Right.
But the first thing I did was I hired an assistant. I think that's very important as an agent, not so much to help me with the work, because at times zero sales, I had nothing, right? I only had
Right.
3 listings. I still remember that I just had 3 listings. Was like my mom's client, and she said coincidentally he wanted to sell. So I said, okay, let me help you. And I hired my assistant. Actually, it was just to give me discipline, because I know if I'm paying somebody, I have to get up and work and not laze around.
Right.
And I don't know, one thing led to another, and here we are.
Right. So you went from a single agent with 3 listings. And right now, I'm just letting the audience know that where she is right now in terms of the whole location that she's working on, which is kind of like an upper market location in Kuala Lumpur. I think it's very similar to the high-end villages in the Makati South area, just to make sure that everyone understand where is the landed properties that she does, the more upper end market. And today you have 60% market share, more or less 60%
More or
market
less,
share
yeah.
of that location, right? So went from 3 listings to now 60% market share of that whole location. Now you wanted to share today how you did it. The goal is to help us understand what happened and how are you running that business right now. Okay.
Okay, so maybe I'll do a quick introduction through
Sure.
the slides.
Sure.
Just walk you through that. And okay, I'm just gonna share this. All right, you can see my slides. So
Yes.
this is sort of so I started off first. The first thing I did was sort of a brand kit, because as real estate agent, I think we need to be very focused on marketing. First and foremost, everything starts from there. Branding, you are the brand, you are the face. For simplicity, I just said Yin Homes. I didn't think much of it, you know. I said, okay, we need a tagline. Okay, I bring integrity to real estate. Just something that's very close to my heart, whereby I value transparency, doing the right thing, you know, and bringing a lot of integrity to a business where actually you can get away with a lot of things, right, as the middle person. So that's how we started. I had a friend to help me. My friend, she used to be head of marketing of a big corporate, you know, until she decided not to work anymore. So it coincided with her having free time and me needing to start this. We came up with the brand kit and a few basics. So Let me change my slides. Okay, so we started off with something simple, brand kit, 3 listings, quick introduction. As I told you, I have 10 years experience in doing real estate, and I've learned a lot. I picked up a lot of things along the way, and like I said, the most important thing is to start with marketing, branding. So I thought that, hey, okay, with my 10 years, what are some of the things that are important to me? But before I jump that, first is choosing the geographic target area. So TTDI, the area that I cover, actually is an area very close to my heart. I have lived in the area since the 80s when it was sort of first developing. I grew up in this area. I went to school. I went to school in the area as well. And now, most of my friends from school, their parents are selling and they are looking to buy as well. So it's quite nice. And my mom also was a real estate agent in this area because we lived here, right? And so after she passed, I decided I was going to start Yin Homes. And yeah. And there are many ways that one can do as a solo agent. You can cover listings. You can follow your listings. So it can be all over within 10 kilometers, 20. It's up to you within what radius you wanted. But I didn't want to run around. I felt that I think my goal is that I want to give myself the best chance to close, and I want stability. As a single mom, I think consistency and stability is very important because you put food on the table. So I thought that being a local area specialist, I really just go deep versus this way. Maybe that would ensure that I can better predict my income. I can also ensure consistent income. So what I do is that as a local, so I start to think to myself, okay, if you're the local area specialist, the first thing is you have to know all the transactions. You have to know everything that happens in the area. So this is what I do every day. Sometimes even twice a day. I monitor everybody's ads. I'm always in the area. I mean, I live here, of course, but always monitoring who's selling, who's buying, what are my competitors doing, and I always make sure that I have consistent viewings. Consistent viewings equals to X number of closing, right? And being a local area expert, then I know I need strong community engagement. So I do all sorts of things, sponsor local events, my social media also. It's not just buying, selling house, or this is the listing, but we also do a lot of community awareness. Recently, last year, TTDI celebrated its 50th anniversary. So I collaborated with the RA, and we interviewed 10 different residents who called Taman Tun home, and just to kind of raise awareness and for them to tell the story about the place. So for me, I focus a lot on the emotional side. I think that's what marketing is. And most importantly, not just strong social media and a strong understanding of local civic issues, in the area, but also to establish myself as an agent that goes beyond transaction. So we talk about community, we talk about contributing, making a difference in the community. When I see my client, I don't see them as a transaction. I make it a point to see, can I meet their needs? Rather than how do I create a transaction?
So you come from contribution, you are coming from how can I serve the community?
Yes, exactly. So that is like my mindset, and I think that leads me in whether it's marketing, planning my operations, growing my team, and what kind of services I need to provide come from the angle of serving the local community.
Right. So, guys, I remember walking at the hill because me and my wife we do go walk that hill in Tamandu. It's kind of like a exercise route for us. I think it's a 3 or 4 kilometers a loop, right? And I remember walking the calendar, and last year it was really the anniversary, and I remember seeing your banners or your banners on the sidewalks and on the what do you call the lampposts. Oh, I remember that. I took a picture, but I forgot to tell you. But then I just told my wife, that's so smart because you know why? There's no other real estate agent doing this right now in the neighborhood. Like I don't see anyone taking the taking the opportunity to go and be part of the RA. RA stands for Residents Association of the location, to partner with them to serve the community. I think I think that's something that is you don't see that very often.
Yeah, so we got our logos up there because we collaborated with them and with to do the story. So I paid my videographer and I had my marketing manager be the producer to produce the 10 stories, and everybody was very happy about it. And
Right.
we were one of the sponsors, so called. So that's why we had the logo.
Did it cost you a lot of money to do that?
No, because well, I mean, my videographer is on retainer anyway, so I
Right.
just swapped some allocation. It was content for me, but it was
Right.
also content for the RA, and they shared on their platform. I think it was a great collaboration.
Yeah. So I think one of the key things I always tell real estate agents in anywhere in the world, real estate is a hyper local thing, and if you don't serve the community and you don't take advantage to connect the community through events and servicing those events, or even contributing those events, we are missing out a lot. Do you agree that we are missing out a lot of opportunities when we don't serve the community?
Definitely, because property is a very it can be very sentimental, but even if you're an investor, it is a very expensive investment, right? And it's a very important asset to everyone.
Right.
So I feel that that's why despite all the progress in today's digital world, it's still very conventional in many ways, and people still, it's a business of trust. This is about trust. So
Right.
how do you stand out? What kind of service you give? And if you focus on relationship and positioning yourself to serve, and you're really actively in the community, I just want to give myself the best chance that if people want to sell or buy, they're like, hey, just get Ying Peng, she will take care of you.
There you go. Thank you for doing that. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to interrupt and just clarify that.
Yeah, and that's why I also cover the rentals. Yes, the rentals take up a lot of time, but it's a great way to build relationships, serve the landlord, so we create a win-win for everyone.
Okay, cool.
So to that, I mean, to do all the things that I said, you cannot do it alone. After a while, I think had a very good problem, which was I just didn't have enough time. It was like to the point where I told myself, even if I work 24 hours a day, I can't, and I'm being bogged down by a lot of things. Real estate has so many things, right? Paperwork, tenancy agreement, and then sometimes the lawyers. It's just so much detail work, right? It's not just showing the home. So, but I was very reluctant to invest money, very scared. Actually, not reluctant, maybe fearful is the right word. But I said, okay, maybe I really need somebody because it's just a bit crazy already. So last year I made my first, I had my assistant already, okay, but I got him to do rentals because after a while, it seemed like that was something that he could do. Now we have our in-house marketing because branding and marketing is very important. It's all about marketing leads to lead generation. I feel that in today's world, it cannot just be lead generation in the traditional way where you just hang a signboard. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So I hired admin part-time, but then the admin also get too busy already. So after a while, I kind of rejig everything, and then it just was getting out of hand. Everybody was just so busy. Nobody's happy. We started arguing because everybody just overworked. So this year I've decided what I thought, and I think in the $1 Million Real Estate also, it says, Gary Keller says that actually the last expansion, correct me if I'm wrong, John, is actually the sales agents.
That's right.
But I did it opposite because I didn't want to spend money, so I thought very smart. I get everybody double up.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. After a while, you kind of hit a brick wall.
Right.
And then I went back to the book. Oh yeah, he did say that, you need to get your admin. Admin is the most important thing for real estate agent.
Right.
But
So all this was inspired by the MREA book. You took that book seriously when you designed your business and team. Is that correct?
yeah, and I talked to a few business owners who are not in the industry, So and then I thought to myself, hey, they are running their factories, they are running their own services as well, in this way. And then I think the book served as a validation. I read the book. I'm like, oh, actually, that's what Gary Keller was saying from the start. I'm
That's
like,
right.
oh, okay. I reversed
Right.
the whole process, and maybe I should have done that earlier. I think I would have caused a lot of less stress in the team.
Right.
But of course, as you embark on these operations, then I realized I do need somebody to oversee this whole thing, right? Because operations is not my strength. I don't need it to be my strength anyway, because my strength is sales, my strength is client relationship. So I always think from the angle that, okay, this is my strength. So what do I need to do and invest in and structure out so that I just do what I do best?
Right.
So I'm good in sales. I have a lot of marketing ideas, but I got no time to execute. I got no interest to execute. I've done that before in my career, right? But I have the ideas. I have the strategy. So that's how this year I've formed my formally operations team.
Right. Nice.
So with a team like that, so then I'll talk more about how I create this ecosystem, this operations ecosystem, and we'll take it from there. But before we head into that, the next thing, for me, as always, I've mentioned a few times throughout today's sharing, is that creative marketing solutions are very important. But I think marketing ideas are very easy to get. You can read anything, watch social media, use AI to generate it. But I think it is the discipline and consistency that is the hardest thing. And I feel that I know and acknowledge that I am not the smartest person in the room. So I think to myself, how can I outwit and beat my competitors, so to speak? So I say, okay, I must win through consistency and discipline. So number one, social media. I told my team, even when we first started, we need 3 listings, we must post every day. I don't care. We don't have videos yet, so we don't even have the budget for that. But I think it's okay, we will get there. So we will cobble together now you look back, it's very cringe lah. All these like, 5 things you must know about, blah, blah, blah. But I said, I don't care. We just must post, and I want us to understand and get the rhythm of posting every day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, because there's a marketing person, right? Saturday, Sunday, I said, okay, your rest. Saturday, Sunday is for agent to go out to do the sales.
Right.
So that I know what is the process. I know like what are the kinks I need to iron out. And I want the audience to know through, if somebody can post 5 times a day, what can I do for your house? What will I do when you come to me for a home search? So we did that. We do home tours. I remember the first home tour I did. I think John, you hooked me up with a videographer, and then
That's right.
okay, let's give it a try. And I said, okay, let's try. I remember
Right.
the videographer went to the house. He was shocked. He said, I can shoot. Jeez. Then I told him, I said, Daniel, we can do this, because if once you can shoot this house, you can shoot any house. Let's do it.
Right.
And fast forward 4 years, we're still working together, I'm
Right.
happy to say. And
Right.
shot a lot of like really bad houses. We've shot good houses, but that's part of it, right? The journey, you can't choose. We are agents. We take, if the listing fits our checklist, then we take it.
Right.
And do classified ads. We also do print. Print is not dead, despite what everybody may tell you. We do twice a year. We do, I don't have a sample here. We do fridge magnets. We do postcards, just to remind people that we're in the neighborhood. We send it twice a year to 6,000 households in the neighborhood.
Right. Walk us through, because you said one thing. Let's just be consistent. Like, content quality is something that we will never get perfect on. You agree? Like it's going to be a journey of getting what we think is a better content or good content or whatever it is. But the goal is to be consistent. Like quickly, if you can, walk us through, like in today's business that you're doing right now, what does that consistency look like in terms of marketing for you? Just a very simple.
So
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I have my funnel. Yeah. So you must always, marketing is always about your funnel. So social media is always the top there because that's what everybody is on. So we post 5 times a day, but now we have 8 reels, 10 videos, and the rest are statics, just listed, so rented. You can choose what you want and what works for you.
Right.
And we monitor the consistency. I tell you how it looks like every week in our team meeting. The marketing department, the marketing manager has to give the analysis, what worked best, what didn't work best. The game is getting more and more complex. I sometimes I feel choked as well because Facebook has Facebook content, TikTok and Instagram at the moment we're still using the same thing.
Right.
And then now there's also for Chinese users, there's Red Note. That
Right.
will be a different thing. And they all have different platforms cater to different audience. We are now moving not into mass market, right? I think now in today's marketing age, whatever you're selling is all about community. So you have to know your audience, what your audience wants, give that to them, and we analyze it every week because people get bored. You can't even if there's the perfect content, right? In next quarter, people are not interested anymore. They're bored. You need to give them something else.
Right. And just walk us through, if you can, high level, how many of these content generate leads, appointments, and sales for you? Are they like 50% of your sales come from all these contents?
So you see this home tour, property listing, social media, I would say it's a fair spread.
Right.
There's no one, the way I look at it is that there's just no one channel. You have to cover all channels. It's just top of the mind.
Right. Right.
And they come from all sources.
Right.
So I have people that will say, I saw this listing on the classifieds. Oh, I went to your website. So our website is updated every week or every time there's a new listing, it is what. And my website is a very cheap Squarespace website, but we update it with listings every week. And I find that people actually, if they're interested to buy, they will actually track and stop your what you do. And I don't know where it can come from. It could come from the website, it can come from social media, it could come from classified as referral signboards. So the game is quite complex, but it's just part of the stickiness.
Yes. Because you just build a 360 mode around the location, the territory that you're working on, in terms of the presence in both offline and online, to make sure that they don't miss you, or when they think about you, that particular location, you exist, you are there.
Yes. I think that's what marketing is, right? And you just everywhere, and you're like, as long as you think of this product, you must think of Yin Homes.
Okay, cool. Go on. I don't stop you anymore. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that is the marketing. So as you can imagine that with this much effort and investment in time and money, after a while, yeah, things get a bit more. You get busier and busier, and after a while, you cannot cope. So so that's when I start to say that okay, maybe it's time that we fully we formalize this operations part. So what I do now is the next step that I did was identify your service process. Before you hire or start your operations team, I think first what I did was I identify the service process. This is my service promise to the client. I want to do all these things. It's quite general. This is just a thing, but I want to make sure that every step there is a flow, there's a SOP, and I'm not just saying it, but I'm going to do it, and my back end must reflect market research, personal consultation, the marketing campaigns, how we fill inquiries. So all these things, I think, okay, this is my service process, my service promise to the client. From there, it's not very clear here, but you can ask me question. From there, together with my operations manager, Raisa, we built a Yin Homes ecosystem so that we have an entire back end to support this service promise and process.
Okay, so let me just pause here for a second. Just for the benefit of everyone that's watching today live, you're going to see that someone here is focusing on process and systems in their business to scale, right? So you're going to think about where your business is and think about process and system, because that's how you can make a consistent income, consistent business, because when you have a process in place, things work better and it's more consistent. Now, Ying Peng, let us know, based on this process that you're doing right now, on a monthly basis, if you can, how many people are you serving right now? Again, how many people is going through the funnels? Are there like 50, 60 people that you are serving at the same time?
So
Yeah.
I personally do about, for me, one person, 40 viewings a month. So I'm not even counting inquiries or anything. On
Right.
average, about 40. So there's two of us, so that's 80 just for sales. Rental will be a little bit more than that.
So you're talking about at least 100 to 200 people.
But it's viewings, so
Viewings, yes, going through the whole process flow, and you probably get what? Conversion of 10% of that, or 5% of that into
yeah, that I
transaction.
mean you
Yeah,
get
about 10% that, right? But the whole flow to generate the leads, like you are building an engine that's generating leads, servicing these leads, and hopefully putting them into a funnel that will transact eventually. Right? It could be a couple of months before transaction, but
Of course.
the ability to serve 200 people at any point in time at the highest level requires systems.
Definitely, and you require a team. You really need to structure your operations team. It's just, I think everything Gary Keller has covered in the book, and I think it's very true, especially because so now I feel so much better when I have this whole back end, and I really find myself that it is an investment. Yes, I mean we use a project management system. It's um about $100 a month to do that, just to have this system for the whole team. But I'm glad we do, because we're tracking so many things, and it's not just people going through your funnel, but I want to keep them in the ecosystem. So whether is the buyer has bought, you want to keep them in the ecosystem. People buy, they want to rent out, the tenant move out, put the new tenant, and then we just keep.
Right, because tenant can be also buyers. Buyers can also be sellers.
Yes.
Sellers can also be buyers again, right? And then it's the whole database in a system that you are now having engagement with them at a very high level. Now, you and I talk a little bit about how can you serve them at a higher quality level, a level where you're giving them high touch or high level of service so that they feel that you are a step above everyone else.
Yeah, I just need to know. I actually, it's not about step above for me, John. Actually, for me, the problem I want to solve is that I want the client to know that no matter how busy and you see like my signboard I have time for you.
Yeah, you are there for them. Yeah,
I'm there for you. Even if the pipe bursts, I am there for you. I'm there for you.
right.
There's no problem too small, that you cannot call me. And I
Right.
must be able to cope with that, right? So
Right.
that comes from this back end that I'm still figuring out, refining, but I think I feel so much better in the last few months. I think it's working, and it is the right, so-called the right way for me to run my business.
Nice. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah. So that is in a nutshell, but
Right.
happy to continue the conversation.
Sure. Maybe you can stop sharing the screen and then just have a conversation. Now, looking at this whole ecosystem thing to set it up, right? What was some of the lessons that you learned as you set up this? Because it's not easy, right? Because like and it's probably something that people like you and I don't like to do, but we have to do kind of thing to set it up, right? Like what were some of the lessons that you learned in setting all these systems up?
Find the right people.
Mm.
So I think my operations manager, she started with me in marketing. And then after that, she came to me and she said that I'm not really interested and I want to move on. And then we had a conversation, and actually she wants to do project management, and she's really good with operations.
Mm.
And I think it excited her that I said, okay, you take free reign. I'll tell you what I want, and we're going to make this work. And you have to figure out, in a project management system, you have to get your flow right so that your triggers are right. And we need triggers, right? Because we're dealing with so many things, whether it's a pipe lead to signing sales and purchase agreement to vacant possession. So what are all the triggers and who on the team needs to be triggered?
Right, right.
So that's how she's the one that built that ecosystem.
So basically, just it's the who, not how. It's find the right person to take charge of the things that you and I don't like to do,
Yes.
and you'll get done.
But one thing also, yes, it takes time. And I will tell you one thing. Setting this up is not easy. I was subscribing to this project management system before. Only this year I've used it full blown, but actually I toyed around with it about 1.5 years ago, but I never stopped my subscription.
Right.
Everybody is just like, what's wrong with you? But I just knew that I have to do this. About 1.5 years, I just toying around with it, just trying to get familiar. I had a lot of resistance from the team. Nobody thought it was useful. People
Right.
were annoyed, they were angry at me, and
Right.
kept going. And today, I think I'm glad I did stick it out,
Right.
spend that money.
And that's a leadership journey, right? To put that that problem as in that you need to solve this problem, and a leadership need to know sometimes it's not what's good for everyone, but what's good for the business first, right? And it's not about making sure that everybody likes this, but everybody, you need to fall in line, and this is my standard, and you need to have that standard sorted out. So I think that's a leadership stand. Talk to us a bit about the leadership journey as you go through this whole process, right? What are some of the leadership lessons that you learned?
I think the main thing, the one key thing is, I think the big discovery that I've learned on this in the last 1 year with this switch I feel in my business is I have to know my why very clearly, because when you are just going every day doing this, you kind of lose focus. You kind of like, actually, what am I doing? Why am I getting up every day doing this? I'm going crazy, right? You can imagine without a back end, and this is my brand promise, and I'm doing all these things, you get lost in that. And I just finally set myself down and say, okay, actually, what do you want? What is the vision that you have for the business? Because like what you say, John, is so true, is that in your leadership journey, I can say 99% of the time, nobody agrees with you. But it's not their job to agree with you. It's not their job to buy into your vision.
Exactly.
You cannot expect people on your team also to have the vision. If they can have the vision, then they are the leaders, right?
That's right.
So I at first I used to get very angry, get very frustrated.
Yeah.
I felt very angry, very resentful, actually.
Right.
And finally, I just think to myself, actually, what do you expect? This is not their job. It is my job.
Yeah.
And then when you start to take ownership, when you start to have acceptance, what a leader is meant to do, this is the burden and the responsibility of the leader.
That's
so
right.
If you want to do this team, if you want to build this team, you want to build this business, you have to be very clear what you're doing, and because the burden is heavy. You have to shoulder it, but you shoulder it because you're passionate about it. You're passionate about your vision, and you know your why.
Yeah. And it helps you get to what you want, right? Because by doing this, it frees up the time that you want for your family, and it protects the business and the money, and now you're able to scale.
Yeah, so that's my hope in my next chapter. Why I am doing all these things and putting these things into place is because without proper system and processes, without support, how are you going to scale? The house will fall without foundation and the right pillars.
Okay, let's fast forward, moving forward right now. What's the future of your business? Like, what's the vision that you have in the next 3-5 years? What would that look like?
Well, I hope that I get to retire soon after. No, I'm just kidding. I say that, but I have a feeling I can't because I really enjoy what I do. Uh, what will my business look like? So I want to scale it, expand the portfolio, expand product offering, number one. Number two is that to get my operations team tight enough and my system so that every part of the service process, wherever I can, it also becomes a profit center. And it's nothing wrong for these things to be a profit center, because once it is a profit center, I can continue to provide these kind of services. The more profitable it is, the better quality service I can provide to my client.
Right. And you can bring more people into your team, because then more people have more opportunity to be part of something bigger, right? And they get paid as well doing this as we move forward, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. What's the one advice you have for our audience today? Like, if they are aspiring to systemize their business, they're aspiring to, a lot of us maybe potentially could be a teams or single agents, right? What are some of your advice to those people that are watching today?
I think it is just discipline and consistency. First is again, okay, I just backtrack. First is know your why. I know it's easy to say that I do real estate to make money because but the money is there, but it's also very competitive. It is a very demanding business. If you want to do it right, you want to do it right, to me means you can predict your income better, you can predict your sales better. So that to me is doing it right. If you want that for yourself, I think you have to understand first and foremost your why. Why are you doing it? What is it that we are service providers, right? So what is the service that you want to give your clients? And of course, you have to be passionate about that. And then from there, you have to be persistent, have to be consistent and disciplined to really try. Don't be scared to try different things, and don't be scared if people on your team leave. It's part of growth. But important is that you stay focused, you understand your journey, understand that there will be downtimes, there will be days where you just don't want to do this anymore and you feel like a failure, but you tell yourself that it's okay, it will pass. Today is just not the day to figure out the solution. Maybe tomorrow.
Right. Well, last question. How relevant do you think that the $1 Million Real Estate Agent book that Gary Keller wrote, right? How relevant is it still to today? Are you still referring it till today? Are you still looking that as a reference point till today?
Yes, I do. But except that now I do it with the assistance of ChatGPT to contextualize. But it was published in what, 1975?
No. I think much later. I think it's probably early 2000s.
No, the first version.
I believe it's early 2000s.
Early 2000s, is it?
I'm not mistaken. It's early 2000s.
But I just feel that it is the franchise handbook, so to speak, like the McDonald's handbook, as to how a real estate agent can grow their business.
Right.
But you have to take it, you have to adapt it. But I think the structure and the steps is very clear. And I think that I use it as, how I use it now is as a checkpoint. Okay.
Right.
Just as a validation,
Right.
okay, am I doing the right thing, because having this operations team doing all this, it eats into your profit margin, and you think for a while like, hey, it's not normal, right? Service provider, you got such a low profit margin. But as you read the book, it provides validation that, yeah, it's part of scaling, it's part of growing your business.
Yeah, your revenue up, right? And then your margins are affected, but your revenue up because you grow the revenue stream as well. So
and maybe you may not see it immediately, but
yes,
it's part of your projection, like every business.
Right. Awesome. Ying Peng, thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad that we are able to catch you. I'm sorry we couldn't come to Manila, but
yes,
hopefully
I know.
one day you'll be in Manila and live. I'm sure everyone will be happy to see you live.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Andy.
Okay. I'm sure everybody picked up a lot.
Yes.
But there are things that she repeated 3 times: the beginning, middle, and at the ending when she was emphasizing the consistency, right? And the discipline,
Consistency and discipline,
and
right?
discipline. And then whenever she's doing something, she refers to because that is my brand promise.
Mm.
See, so she wants to be consistent with what she has promised to the buyers or to her
A
clients.
reference point, right? The brand promise.
The
I
brand
think,
promise.
yeah, I think, yeah. What's the biggest? Is this your biggest aha?
Yeah, since she repeated it 3 times, that means this is something that she would like to really share with all those who are listening. And
Yeah.
she's
How about the
living it.
audience?
She's not lecturing, she's living it.
Yeah. How about the audience? If you can type on the chat, right? So, what's your biggest aha in this session? What have you learned? Right. While waiting for them to type, I think my biggest aha that there are so many ahas, but I think one of the more important thing is knowing your big why, right?
Yeah.
And, I think in the beginning when she speak about this, when the first hiring just with 3 listing, and it also reminded me something that early this year, right? I talk a lot about this, right? The fear of failure and the fear of failing, right? There's a difference on this. So a lot of time, I think people there's a fear of failure, so they don't take any actions, right? Too much fear in that, and when you fear of failing is you you don't want it to be failed, right? Then you become better. Okay, Rene. So
Just like what we mentioned during the pandemic, during the summit. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. And as Gary always emphasized, you fail forward fast.
yeah,
You fail forward fast.
yeah. Fail forward, fast, fail often, and fail forward.
Yeah.
I
Do
think
you do you remember how he demonstrated falling or failing? Walking is actually falling, but you just have to catch it with 1 foot and then fall again 1 foot and then fall again 1 foot. That is how you move forward. You have
yeah,
to fall and fall and fall. Yeah,
yeah, that's the way we walk, right?
this is the way we walk. Not upright. This is the way we walk. Fall, step, fall, step, fall, step.
Yeah, I gotta agree on that, right? So, I think last year I picked up some running from running school. So run, sometimes you think that how hard is to run, right?
Yeah.
But I think the foundation of running marathon or running uh some some long distance is always about leaning forward and running to you don't run straight. So it's
Yes.
always lean on forward and run that towards your to the front. So Diana talked about consistency, discipline, and focus. I think there are some of the key points that maybe we wanted to highlight again. And you haven't put it down in the then maybe you also wanted to put down the notes right to the audience, right? So she talked about being the area specialist, right? And also I I've spoke to so many people about being the area specialist because sometimes coming into Manila, even though some distance, maybe 4 5 kilometers, sometimes the jam just killing you. So sometimes the 4 5 kilometer you need to spend about what half an hour to what an hour, and if it's raining days, you might even need to spend more. So be very smart about it, right? So when you be your area specialist nearby to your residence, it helps you to reach out to the neighborhood faster, and it's also easier for you to do the community engagement, right? People know you because they know you're part of the neighborhood, right? And you also understand what's the local civic uh, issues or neighborhood dynamics so you can engage in them better. I think this is something that maybe we can pick it up, right? And not just about deal, right? it's not about just deal making, but it's also to serve the community. So when you start to serve and engage with them, they will know you better, and when you start to care about them, the community. So that's something that I also have learned from that, and always reminded people on this. Right? Do you agree on that, Andy?
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, that's say that choose the right people, right? Choose the people that motivated and willing to unlearn and learn, and yeah, those that willing to take actions, right? What and do what you do best, right? And everyone have their role, right? Like she also mentions the operation lady. At first she was from marketing, and she had conversation with her, right? Wanted to change the role. So not always that the person that you hire, it must be uh die do the same role, right? At certain point of their life, they have maybe they realize that that's not something that they wanted to do. They have their then they see their big why or certain way that they can grow themselves. They wanted to move on, I think, or to take on the new role. We also open enough to have that conversation, right? Okay. I think on marketing wise, what we have learned as well is always about consistency. Consistency is a big word today. So we talk about consistently having the marketing collateral ready and to be posted Monday to Friday. So have a way to think about that. So and also I think that those marketing collaterals, it must be properly related or relevant rather than just post for the sake of posting, right? You see, sometimes I see that agent, of course, if you are in transaction, maybe you don't do that, right? You post something relevant. So um, she post something just relevant on her work, on her area, right? She don't post food, she don't post other thing, right? She posts, I think some of the house fixing hacks as well, something that relevant. You can use this as your medium of content that consistently you're able to create and post,
yeah.
right?
That's how she gives value to her clients.
Yeah, her community, right? So work with her local resident associations to stay relevant, right? Putting up your brand so on the because once you are in that community and you are actively just like being the member of Senate or Parliament for the local area or serving these people, then people start to know you, right? And
Yeah. She only serves one community, right? She's focused on one area.
6,000 homes.
Yeah,
But
remember the other speaker that we had who sells about 200 who has 200 transactions a year, but his focus is in one or two buildings. That's
yeah,
why
right. So
what's his
yeah,
name? What's his name?
only two buildings.
Tony Ong, yeah, two buildings. So one, it's focus. It's very efficient, very efficient. So anytime you want to talk to him and do a viewing, just go there. And then
The
he is already known there,
yes.
and he established himself as the authority in that area. So uh, he is already identified.
Yeah, the two buildings just neighboring to each other because you know that whoever that look for this building, most probably if this building not good for them, they will just want the building nearby, right? Next to it. So very, very smart because you travel to one place rather than you keep on driving around. Just talk about Makati, right? I stay in Makati and live in Makati. You look at the traffic, it's crazy, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, one
Well,
end and to the other end of Makati, you need, I think, sometimes 45 minutes. So, so if you choose something, then choose it quite close to each other, and that's save up a lot of travel time.
yeah, especially if you don't have much budget. You see, a lot of agents, they have listing in Pampanga, they have listing in Makati, they have listing in Parañaque, they have listing. So anybody who wants to say, why? No, there's no problem with that. But what you can do is to delegate or share, because sometimes they just want to get it, and then they don't want to share. Just focus on one building. If you focus on 100 West, then be the master of 100 West. Be the specialist there. That's what you call a local expert but globally connected. And when you do your points, when you do your post, you can maybe have dinner or lunch in one of the Chinese restaurants there, or just talk about the area. Be the local expert.
And
I know
also,
you were, yeah,
I think one of other thing that you need to systemize your process and to scale, right, your business. You cannot run the way that how you run it when you first joined the industry 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's not about how many years you have, but if you are not improving your process and systemize the way that you run your business, you're still it's not the years of experience that help you. Right? I think most of you are still stuck in the years that how you started it. So I think willingness to unlearn and relearn the whole industry again and be willing to pick up technology as part of your work, right, Andy?
yeah, agree.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's 10:07. It
So
was a
seven.
good it was a good session. Very, very educational session. And the good thing is that it is recorded. So you can review that, watch it, and share it.
I think one of the last thing that maybe to remind those who are with KW, I think the command, the CRM is there. If you need more conversation on that, how do you want to kickstart on that? Yeah, please come to our office. We are more happy to have that conversation with you to help you to start to systemize the way that you manage your clients, systemize the way that you run the business, so you're able to scale, right? And utilize these technology that created for you, right, by agents, right, built by agents for agents, right. That's our so if you don't use it, sayang I think it's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want to, oh, one thing she also mentioned is that she was investing. She's
mm,
investing in the different forms of marketing, not only sponsorship with the community. Oh, that's sponsorship in a community consistently gives you a feel of that market, and they will know you.
yeah,
See, because
it's
you're
multi
there.
yeah, it's multi-channel, right? These days of marketing, you have so many platforms, so many things on in the world that you cannot just say that okay, I've done my post in Facebook, that's all. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
yesterday, I spoke to my salesperson in the showroom. I went to the showroom. I talked to them. They said, "Oh, I couldn't get the client." I said, "Then you start to Viber. So if you cannot get Viber, you just do the WhatsApp call. Why stop at you call them? They didn't pick up the phone. I say that use other medium. So
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
you text it, if you SMS them, you also message them. You also drop everything that how can you get these people because when they registered the leads, definitely they have interest, right?
yeah.
So you just do one trial that you call, okay, nobody pick up. So yeah, that client didn't pick up. Then they stop. Don't do that, right? They're multi-channel. Just try to get to them. Try every channel. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
never give up. Okay. So I'll see you all, and thank you, Andy, for coming in. So at
Thank
least today I pretend to be John. So I have the same surname as John, different mother and different father. But we still, yeah, it's good. Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a great week.
Have a great week and scan the QR if you are agent who are wanted to have conversation or have business consultation with us. We are here to help you, right? To have that conversation to help you. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice week ahead.
Thank you. Bye bye.